which is a pretty famous Mishnah. I'll put it on the board. I think many people will be familiar with this phrase. Again, it's from Hillel, number Yudalad here. Hu haya omer, he used to say, Im ein ani li mili. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? That's what we'll concentrate on today. The second part of Kashanani la'atzmi, but if I am for myself, ma'ani, what am I? V'imlo achshav, and if not now, emos I when. I think everyone is probably familiar with some of the phrases here, if not all of them. So this idea, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? So Rashi understands it in the form of talking about mitzvos, that if I'm not going to do my own mitzvos, who's going to do it for me? Now we do know this concept. You could have someone do something, you answer amen, right? Someone else could blow the shofar for you, someone can make kiddush for you, but you're actually fulfilling that mitzvah. But even that, there are certain things you can't send someone else to do, right? You can't send someone else to put your tefillin on for you, right? Or someone else to observe Shabbos for you, right? There are things that you have to do yourself. So most of it you have to do yourself, and certainly in terms of spiritual growth, no one else can do that for you. You have to do it for yourself. The morale, so that our line, like, you want to earn your share in the world to come. You got to do it for yourself. You can't appoint someone else to be, your mitzvah man and to be your good person, and have that person. Oh, they'll do all the good stuff, and I'll do whatever I want. Right? It doesn't work that way. Um, Now, again, we had talked about that some of these last Mishnahs were ideas of things that require humility. So the Maral also looks at that this is all part of it. A person has to realize that you have so much more to accomplish, and whatever you even when you do accomplish, there's still so much more to do. So never be satisfied that you say, "Oh, I've done it all." Right? There's always more to achieve. The Rambam talks about an idea that if you're going to want to be inspired, who's going to inspire you? Well, you can't rely on other people to inspire you. Yeah, to some degree, you get inspired by others. In fact, you take it a step further to say that yes, you can be inspired by others, but you can't rely on that inspiration, both in terms of whether you're going to get it, but B, in terms of it lasting. You have to continuously re-inspire yourself all the time. You have to make sure that you've got the things in place that are going to keep you motivated and keep you inspired. Because if not, ultimately you'll just fall down. That's the way human beings are. If we don't continue to re-inspire ourselves and continuously find ways of feeding ourselves, then we are just going to naturally slack off. That's what happens. But by Rabbeinu Yonah points out also, again, the person has to do it for themselves, because if you're not going to do it for yourself, then it won't be as successful. But if you do it for yourself, that is the type of thing where a person who wants something, because when you want it, then you make it happen, right? If it's somebody else is imposing on you the desire to have it, it doesn't work as well. And see another idea, interesting, Rabbi Twersky brings down. Remember, Rabbi Twersky is very much into the mental health, and right, he was a psychiatrist as well. And he says if a person says, if I don't have my own personal identity, right? If I don't know who I am, who's gonna give me my own personal identity? I have to know my own strengths, and I have to know my own weaknesses, and I have to be aware of who I am, what I can accomplish, and what I can't accomplish. And then if I know myself, then I can deal with others. I can give to others and be a contributing member of society. But if I don't even know who I am, then how am I gonna deal with other people? And he quotes the Kotzker Rebbe. Kotzker Rebbe had also, you may have heard this idea, very famous line. He says, "If I am I, because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then I am truly I, and you are truly you." You have to follow this logic. But if I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I'm not really I, and you're not really you. And Okay, little hard to understand, but the concept is as follows. If I am living my life because of what I believe in, and you're doing things because of what you believe in, then my identity is real and your identity is real. But if I'm only doing things because that's what you want, and you're only doing things because that's what I want, then you're not doing it. You're not really being yourself. Maybe you're being me, right? You have to. Again, this is separate from the idea of um, obviously taking into account what other people want and helping other people, etc. But if my entire identity is only because that's what you want me to be, and I have not really made it that's not who I am, then I'm not being myself. I'm not true to myself. If take it in a profession, if I'm really a lawyer and I become a doctor because you want me to be a doctor, but that is just not I'm just not into it. I really don't want to be a doctor, then I'm not really going to be a successful doctor either. And vice versa. So you have to know who you are, and you have to be true to who you are. Obviously, within the realm of doing the right thing. Obviously, we're not talking about if you're a bad person, we got a problem. But we're talking about within the realm of things that are personality wise and what fits for you. You have to be able to maintain your own identity. And if you're only living your life because that's what someone else wants, then that's not really you. And that's what the Kotzker Rebbe is saying. And then you will also not only will you not be happy, but you won't really be able to make other people happy either, because you're not a complete person. You're always going to be feeling something's missing. And finally, a couple other thoughts. Irving Bunim says he quotes from the Gemara that Hillel had made a statement, which is, "If I'm here, then everyone is here." Very it's tribute. Other said similar idea. Manikan Hakolkan, and sounds like oh, a little bit sound arrogant, but what it really means, he says, is that if I first of all I if I'm here, then I'm doing what I need to be doing. Then that's the main thing, because I don't have to worry about what other people are doing to make sure that I do the right thing. But secondly, Irving Burnham has a very interesting concept, and he says, every person has let's say he talks about maybe an organization, or you go to a minyan or whatever. If every person says I'm coming, then you have a group. Then you have what you need. If each person says, you know what? I'm just one out of whatever the number is. If I don't come, someone else will do it. Well, if everybody thought that way, then nothing's going to get done. So he says, therefore, when it says, if I am here, everyone is here, it means if I am going to do what I need to do, and everyone else is thinking along that same way, then everyone will be here. And everyone will be involved. If he gives also an example of like an election, right? We all think, my vote doesn't count. Well, if everybody thought that way, then nobody would vote, right? So no, it's true. So, but therefore, you have to do your thing. If every person does their thing, then we're successful. Therefore, you have to feel as if your singularness, your action is going to make the difference for everybody, because if everyone thinks that way, then it will make the difference. And if everybody thinks the wrong way, it will make a negative difference. So imanikan hakolkan. If I am here, everyone is here. So each one of us, we want to make sure that we show up and that we do what we need to do and accomplish all of the good things that we are capable of. And we'll hold it there for today.